Y'all, I have got the craziest info on the Charlie Kirk suspect who had court today. You thought that maybe he was trans or he had a boyfriend that was trans. It's gonna get so much weirder than that. We're gonna dive into all of it. So here we go. So first thing is he actually did have court today, which I have shorts on, you can see. He looked pretty dead in the eyes, only except when they brought up the unaliving penalty. You could see there was maybe a little bit of emotion, but pretty creepy. So the rumor has been for a while that the suspect, and I believe his name is Tyler Robinson, he had a live-in boyfriend slash trans male to female that he was with. And a lot of people have been saying, well, that means that he's far left and all of these things, but it's weirder than that. So apparently, and guys, I knew some of this I understood, and some of this I said this went way over my head. So be prepared. I'm going to educate you the best that I can. Apparently, it's coming out from Kash Patel and other documents coming out today. He's not really far left, and he's not really far right, or it's the point of like, he's so far right, he actually swings to the left because it's kind of like a horseshoe at this point. So when you get to one extreme, you end up becoming the other extreme. So first, before I confuse you any further, let's go ahead and dive into these text messages and then I'll kind of explain what this means. Here we go. Okay, guys, since I have bad eyesight, I'm going to read it from my other phone right here. This is what it says. The roommate. These are the text messages. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting and provided those messages to police. Also, there's been back and forth. Was he a roommate? Was he living with him? Or that he was living with his parents? There is so much information coming out. There's kind of no way to keep up. And I'm also at the point where I'm like, I don't trust any of the medias. We're in this very weird day and age where nobody can actually define or get on board. We don't have a consensus for what truth is, which is pretty scary. Just reading everything out to you. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text messages from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to do stuff to Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. That's kind of weird that he photographed the note, but then again, like important stuff I photograph, what would you think to photograph? By the way, that's not me like saying it's fake or anything. I just ask questions. I'm like, that's weird. Important stuff I will photograph so I don't lose it because I can lose things, so can kind of understand. The following text exchange then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robin says, "I'm still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my still, you know, the pew pew. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." That's another thing. Why would you involve him? You've just now implicated him. Like, I understand his emotions were probably running high, but it's pretty selfish. Roommate: "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson: "I am, I'm sorry." Roommate: "I thought they caught the person." Robinson: "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my pew-pew from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Roommate: "Why?" Robinson: "Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my pew-pew, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Roommate: "How long have you been planning this?" Robinson: "A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it." Good Lord. "I think they already swept the spot, but I don't want to chance it. Probably should move on." Not that I'm trying to give him advice, but good Lord. Robinson: "I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's pew-pew. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints I had to leave in the bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with us, or to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the blank will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the pew-pew wrapped in a towel." Remember how I was engraving pew pew things? The blanking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge, ooh woo, on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. This really blanking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's pew pew does just fine. IDK, I think that was a 2K scope and then like, I don't know, some weird emoji. Robinson, delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the pew pew. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the pew pew and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Some people think the messages aren't real. Some people think they are fake. I'm not going to accuse anything of anything because, again, this is the really scary thing about our media at this point. I don't trust them. I don't trust medias. I don't trust government. I tend to trust Trump a little bit more, but that doesn't really say much, especially what's happened with Jeffrey and his airplane and his island recently. Just how that was handled. I don't like it. But here's what people are saying. So a lot of those things on the pew pew things, right, that we're engraving, like notices bulges, ooh, ooh, what's this? I actually had to ask my partner about this and have it explained to me. This is all meme stuff. This guy, and we also have people from his high school that came out and spoke and said, no, he was like a Reddit or 4chan guy. This guy was a memer. A lot of people are saying he's what's called a graper. What is a graper? So there is this guy, and I don't even know if I can say his name, Nick F. Let's call him Nick F. And Nick F has been kicked off of many platforms because people says that he doesn't like certain groups of people and he's not very nice and he's white. I don't know a ton about him. I know the name because I've been around the internet long enough. I don't know a lot about him. But apparently he was a fan of this guy. And this guy, Nick F, apparently didn't like Charlie Kirk and he was kind of in some sort of weird internet war with him, so to speak. And at some point, allegedly, Nick F had somewhat said he thinks that it's his people doing this sort of thing. And I guess these are the kind of people that are so far right that it's not even that his partner was trans, but what's coming out is the possibility that he's a femcel. What does that mean? So what we're understanding is that this is a male that is in the process of transitioning to female. But here's what happens with some of these people. These are incels. And they go so far right that they believe they don't ever have a shot at even being able to get a woman and have kids. And they believe women have it easier. So even though they're fully heterosexual, they decide the best thing to do, and this is going to sound crazy, but stick with me, is to go ahead and they're going to, I had to stop the video to get my thoughts together. They're going to become trans because they think women have it easier and they think that's their best shot at getting attention or having a partner. They call this transmaxing. I'm sure there's more to it. They also think that they can be a woman better than women and they can be trans better than trans people. Now, as a motive for this, and this is where it's getting really hard, when he says, apparently he said things like, I did it for the memes, I did it for the lols. What does that mean? For the lols means I did it to be funny. I just want to be entertained. I want to be entertained and I want to watch the world burn. And so they do that through memeing. And like I said, it's so far right that they end up doing things where you end up being far left. This is the craziest story that I have ever seen. And this is why we can't nail down exactly what this person is and what they were doing, because I don't know if this is a situation where it's like, oh, I super hate Charlie Kirk. Like from the messages, he doesn't like him, but it also sounds like he was just doing this to laugh. He did this because he thought it was funny, because for these people, it's just funny to troll and watch the world burn. And the bigger the troll, the bigger the fake hoaxes and things they can do, even better. And it's hard to even know what side they're on because it seems like it's just every extreme. I don't know. That's just what I'm hearing. Like, what a crap show. What do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts. Sound off in the comments. Subscribe. Hit notifications. I'm just going to keep looking at this and try to laugh through it because it's insane. And this is bewilderment. What is happening?